And welcome back to the Hot Lap. We're talking F1 Saudi Friday, all the practice session news from FP1 and FP2. As usual, like Bahrain FP1, what does it really mean? Having said that, it was nice to see the result because a certain Pierre Gasly in the Alpine was on fire. And then it was business as usual, but we'll get into that. Also, Max Verstappen being a bit rude. Thoughts on that? Or was he? Was he just playing? Was he rude? Does he have an attitude? We'll get into that as well. And Lewis Hamilton, did he get a penalty for being moderately to averagely naughty, but quite dangerous in practice too? So welcome to our Saudi Grand Prix Friday. So, again, for the third time in a row, for the third time in a week, it's all about the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Well, it's all about the Grand Prix, this time Saudi Arabia at the very least. And as you can see, this is Max Verstappen in the press conference where Crofty asked him a question and he fires back and it's upset a few people.
So he's getting the wrong end of the stick, you're not?
So let's just let's have a listen, shall we? And he's talking about getting the wrong end of the stick. Talking about Red Bull. Is Max going to leave Red Bull? And this is ultimately what Max says.
End of the stick, you're not thinking of leaving Red Bull at any time?
No, I think just focus on commentating, I'll focus on driving, and then, you don't need to think about any other scenarios.
We just worry about you.
Okay, I mean, ultimately, it was reported, clickbait, etc. He says it with a smile. Having said that, you just focus on commentating. Yeah, I mean, it's Max. This is why people like him. On the other side, it's why a lot of people don't like him because of this attitude. I don't really think there was. He kind of said it sort of in jest. Is it a good thing to say? Probably not. Just rather saying no comment would have been nicer. It makes him look a bit silly for some, I guess, when you're a professional F1 driver. But on the other side, it's Max Verstappen, and I keep saying that is why people absolutely love him. But yeah, I don't think you need to say that, but I don't really have a problem with it. I don't know about you. I still don't think you needed to say that, but fair enough. Let's be fair, he's said and done a lot worse. But I get it. So let's get into the practice. Pierre Gasly sets the fastest time in free practice one. It's Pierre Gasly. Followed by, wow, what happened there? Oh no, we went all the way down. It's Pierre Gasly, followed by Lando Norris, and then very much the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc, who, let's be fair, is very much the number one Ferrari at the moment. Lewis Hamilton, all at sea, and I don't really know why. He say in Bahrain, he said in Bahrain, I think I found something. Found what, though? That's the question. So yeah, nice to see Gasly in P1. Gasly in P1 in an Alpine. Everybody else? Yeah, that sounds about right, doesn't it? So this was the full rundown of pre-practice one for what the session was actually worth. It was very close. So when you look at it, when you look at the top, it has Lando Norris and Charles Leclerc, which they're not that far apart at all. It is super close, isn't it? So it is. Let's see. It's very close. That's all I'm going to say. Oh, there we go. And we're back. So 7 thousandths between Pierre Gasly and Lando Norris. Then we've got Charles Leclerc, 70 thousandths or 700ths off. And then Oscar Piastri just over a tenth off. That's your top four. Fifth is Albon. 3 and a bit seconds, 3 and a bit tenths down. George Russell is very much next, 3 and a bit tenths down on that as well. Then Carlos Sainz, over half a second. Lewis Hamilton, over half a second. Now, when you look at it, he's pretty much over half a second slower than Charles Leclerc, and that didn't change much in FP2. 9th is Max Verstappen, 10th is Yuki Tsunoda, 11th is Liam Lawson, 12th is Nico Hülkenberg, 13th Kimi Antonelli, 14th Fernando Alonso, 15th Isaac Hadjar, 16th is Jack Doohan, 17th is Lance Stroll, 18th is Ollie Behrman, 19th Esteban Ocon, and 20th Gabriele Bortoleto. This was the fastest sections in FP2, but let's get into FP2. That was Yuki Tsunoda. Yuki Tsunoda in the wall doing a Max Verstappen 2021 whoops-a-daisy. Yeah, not particularly great, is it? Poor Yuki. This brought out the red flags, and that was pretty much the end of the free practice 2. 2 laps at turn 20. This was the really close calls in free practice 2, but I know I can hear you. Who was fastest in free practice numero 2. Almost certainly, I'm gonna get your practice times now, and here they are. Fastest in free practice 2. It was Lando Norris. It was a McLaren 1-2, kind of boring, really. You know what we see, and then Max Verstappen. But the good thing is, Max Verstappen is not as far away as he was in Bahrain. When you look at it here, he is just under 3/10 off. That's doable. Could we get a max pole? I mean, he does need to finish that lap he did in 2021. If we get a lap like that, absolutely. And that will really put the spanner among the works in the McLaren teams there. If you remember Japan, Suzuka. I do feel this is a bit easier to pass, though, but harder than Bahrain. So, fourth for Charles Leclerc, half a second down pretty much. Then it was Carlos Sainz. He is looking really good in the Williams this year, especially compared to Alex Albon. He is looking, in the practice 3, he looked really good. Yuki Tsunoda looking very good as well, in spite of the crash that Christian Horner spoke to us about. He is looking good. I'm happy about that. That was good. George Russell in 7th. Mercedes, a lot of people predicted Mercedes coming into this weekend to be quite good, but no. They're not at the moment, are they? 8th is Pierre Gasly, the guy that was fastest in FP1. 9th, Nico Hulkenberg. 10th, Alex Albon, struggling. 11th, Kimi Antonelli, kind of where we guess he's going to be. 12th, Isaac Hadjar. What is going on with Lewis Hamilton, the 13th? 14th, Liam Lawson. 15th, Fernando Alonso. 16th, Ollie Behrman. 17th is Jack Doohan. 18th is Lance Stroll. 19th, Esteban Ocon. And 20th is Gabriele Bortoletto. So where were we then? So, yeah, this is the fastest sector times in practice 2, and it was basically all about Norris until the last sector, where there's not that much between them. Anyway, I do think Norris seemingly has the edge at the moment, but here's the important bit. Unlike China and Bahrain, he needs to keep that edge now in free practice 2, in free practice 3 even, and going into qualifying. So Verstappen, Verstappen and Leclerc kind of like toing and throwing there, but Tsunoda has that Red Bull is really solid in that first sector when you look at those times. Now, when we look at Hamilton, he's absolutely nowhere. He's like, bottom half comfortably in most of the sectors, especially the first sector. I mean, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4. There's about only 6 people that are slower than him. Very much in the middle in the second sector, and again, shocking in that final sector. But I don't really know why. And he's not really come out. I haven't heard any news story as to why, but this is obviously Tsunoda in the wall. This is Albon and Antonelli made contact outside the wall, but it's not quite the damage that Tsunoda had. Other people, guess who this is? Lance and the Stroll had spins. Briefly came to a stop at turn 1. It's Lance Stroll. I've been ringing the Lance Stroll bell in terms of he's done fairly good in the first few races, and now he's just turned into Lance Stroll. Top 10 sector times from free practice 2 from lights out. Once again, as you can see here, it is all about Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri, with Verstappen guest starring, so to speak, in sector 1. Tsunoda and Leclerc doing good, but as you can see, Hamilton, it's just awful, isn't it? And this is how the teams ranked. It was all about McLaren, the ideal lap. It does look, though, to be Ferrari does seem to be the third fastest car here, unlike Mercedes. And once again, everyone predicts Mercedes is going to do really well. I'm sure George will do quite well. So this is really significant for me. This is an absolute exclamation point. This is McLaren, Williams, Red Bull, Kick Sauber, Ferrari, Alpine, Racing Bulls, Haas, Mercedes, 2024 versus 2025. And McLaren have gained 1.3 seconds. But slower, 0.8 of a second slower, Aston Martin. What on earth is going on? Here's the chart here. So McLaren looking very good. They've gained the most. Williams gained the second most, but Red Bull Racing not too bad. Kick Sauber, not bad at all. But when you look, Mercedes haven't gained that much. Aston Martin are the big losers. Boy, do they need Adrian Newey now. But the rumours are, the news coming out of the Aston Martin camp was Adrian is not doing anything with this year's car. So, awkward. Ferrari, Ferrari and Alpine, about 0.4 of a second improvement. But yeah, boy, does Aston Martin need it. Now, this is also interesting. Top speeds in Jeddah in practice 2. Now, the concern is, look at the McLarens. They are way down at the bottom on a circuit where you can overtake. Norris on 328, Piastri on 327. It was quite hard on its tyres in FP1. The session was. It wasn't so bad in FP2, but you're going to have to look after the tyres, to a certain extent. Is that why McLaren have loaded up the downforce? Well, I don't think they would have been operating in a lower engine mode than anyone else. But when you look at the Mercedes, Antonelli and Russell are also fairly slow. And it's the Ferrari of Hülkenberg and Ocon that are not bad. Doohan's up there as well, you know, and Verstappen in the Honda. Sainz seems to be, the fastest Mercedes driver. But it's interesting, isn't it? And what does that mean for the race? I mean, if Verstappen is up there, he's fourth fastest from 332 kilometers per hour, and you've got Lando Norris. I mean, yes, it's you might turn around, so it's only about 5 miles per hour, but still, if a car hits you at 5 miles per hour, it's not going to kill you, but you're most certainly going to know about it. That's surely enough with DRS to get past if you're obviously in the DRS zone. But it's Aston Martin, and what must Alonso be thinking? He's really frustrating. He's kind of like, I've got a contract for next year, when he was asked in the driver's press conference, but I really feel for the guy. I kind of feel bad. I mean, poor Fernando. So this is one of the big talking points. This was Lewis Hamilton impeding Alexander Albon. Here we go. I mean, look at that. Lewis Hamilton right on the racing line, and he didn't get a penalty. Which I guess, if you're a Lewis fan, is great. I think people, when they're doing that, should get a penalty. Why? Why should they get a penalty? As much as I love Lewis, yes, I think he's one of the best drivers of all time. This is a track, as you can see here. It's a bit blurry. Yeah, there you go. As you can see, it's completely walled. Unlike other tracks, open tracks, good track. I mean, this is an okay track. Yeah, it's fast, but decent circuits. Rather, this is the big problem you have with street circuits. Is Alex can't see. And he's obviously clocked him. And now you can't see him. Where is that car gone? And he is going slow. We know that for a fact. And Alex Albon comes around, he sees him there, and it's like, oh my God, he's going really slow. And at this point, I mean, you're traveling, 100 miles per hour, etc. And he's just not getting out of the way. He's on the racing line, and then he has to really, really hit the brakes, slam it on. Now the issue I've got is, he avoided what would have been an absolutely mammoth accident, which would have wiped both cars out. And would have made the mechanics late. But the main concern is the safety aspect. So I think, especially on street tracks, we need to be stricter, even in the practice sessions. And it needs to say, look, if you do it once, naughty. If you do it twice in a season, penalty, I think. I don't know what you guys think. Anyone. I'm not just doing it. I don't want to be picking on Lewis. I like the guy. But yeah, I think sadly, probably a penalty. But there you go. That's FP2. That's your 2. And this was someone's recreation of Tsunoda hitting the wall. Oh no! So here we go. Well, where's Yuki? So there's Yuki Tsunoda in the wall, and then the internet's great. Someone's done a GIF of Yuki Tsunoda hitting the wall. Yeah, fairly unfortunate. I'm just gonna keep that playing. As I say, if you're not subscribed, please give us a subscribe. That would be lovely. If you are already subscribed, you just watching this is more than enough for us. But if you want to do a bit more, hit that like button, comment below, let us know. Thank you so much, and we will speak to you soon, and stay safe.